David.
Yes.
Look at the time.
Oh, what time is it?
Why, I believe it's the Chainsaw Minute.
Oh, my goodness. Is that similar to the Chainsaw Minute?
No.
Oh, good, because that would suck.
It's legally distinct.
Oh, very good. Just like how I get my vitamin K.
For what?
Everything.
Cool.
And
K for cool.
I'm David, and this is your weekly dose of Chainsaw Man, where you can join us every Friday to see what masterpiece Fujimoto put out this week.
I'm Jordan, and if you're looking for regular Shonen Flop goodness, you can find our next episode on Monday.
Just a heads up, we'll be making these recordings open to everyone, so come join us on the Shonen Flop Discord Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We even have 4 wonderful listeners right now. Want to give a big shout out to Albie, Aussie Rat, RD, and of course the legendary T. Wolfwood.
Oh yes, hello to everybody, and good morning to you, T. Wolfwood.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I don't even care if it's 5:30.
Hey, it's 5:30 somewhere.
Hey.
And so Jordan, though, before we get into talking about the chapter, what is the devil of the week?
I tried to think about a fear that many people can relate to, and it's one that I don't think has really gotten talked about as much, and that's public speaking devil.
Ooh.
Now, I imagine that what this devil does when you encounter it, it makes it so that for the rest of your life, you say twice as many uhs.
That does sound quite dire.
Yeah. How about you, David? What was your devil of this week?
I just met with my dietitian, and apparently I have a fear of asparagus. So that's so the asparagus devil is my concern right now. Oh, yeah. Albie said podcast audio issues because we're 15 minutes behind because of some audio stuff. That is unironically the devil of the week. Much more interesting than me talking about asparagus for the next 5 minutes.
The dealing with technology devil.
Fujimoto definitely could have talked about asparagus for 5 minutes and made it very interesting, though.
Oh, yeah. Asparagus Domino's Pizza, probably.
God, I am so sad that they don't have Shonen Jump comments for Jump Plus.
Aw, that's like missing out.
I know, right? But enough about that.
Yeah.
Jordan, can you start us off with a wonderful plot summary?
I suppose I could do that if that's what you feel that you need right now, David.
And RT said the podcast devil looks like a buff Joe Rogan.
I love the implication that Joe Rogan isn't buff because that's like part of the whole thing. So it's like, fuck that guy. Anyway, Mitaka wakes up thinking the last chapter was just all a dream, only to see the War Devil glaring at her. The War Devil looks exactly like her except with a cool scar across her nose. She is a hallucination, but the real War Devil has taken over half of Mitaka's brain.
Oh no.
Claiming her body after she died. After she died, David! The War Devil demands that Asa wake up from her depression nap and go to school or else they'll kill her. Because Chainsaw Man is hiding at Mitaka's school and they want to kill him. Popcorn David.
Mitaka has a nervous breakdown about going back to class.
Big mood.
So a nice attractive boy comes over to check on her. The War Devil takes over Mitaka's body and tries to ask him about Chainsaw Man, as well as hit on the boy. Unfortunately, she has no game when we learn that the main character of Chainsaw Man, Denji, is most likely in the Devil Hunters Club. The War Devil tells Mitaka if they kill Chainsaw Man, they'll give Mitaka her body back. So she agrees to help, and they join the Hunters Club. Oh my god, is this an exam arc? I also want to point out, though, that it's not so much Chainsaw Man is hiding in the school. He just is a school student because Denji is 17 years old.
Yes.
And also, it's not confirmed, but people think that this mysterious boy is actually an existing character. His name escapes me, but he had a pact with the Octopus Devil. They look very similar.
Ooh.
The only problem is he's a bit too old because I think he was a college student, but maybe he just looks very youthful. So we'll see if it's a coincidence. He could be like a younger brother, or Fujimoto's just fucking off everyone.
I mean, how old was Reze really,
Old enough.
Ooh, we're cutting that.
Someone on the Chainsaw Man subreddit was like, I felt really bad about how the school teacher died, and then I remembered he was a pedophile, so it was fine.
Yeah.
And then people just naturally, whenever you talk about pedophile, people are like, oh, the age of consent in Japan is 13. It's not.
That's not.
I'm like, okay, listen, that is very specific circumstances. The age of consent in Tokyo is 18, and it is fucked up no matter how you cut it for a school teacher to be having sex with one of their students.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, maybe like countrywide, and apparently it's due to like some traditional political things dealing with like certain tribes. I don't know the exact situation, but the point is, while the countrywide age of consent might be like 13, every single individual prefecture has raised the consent to like 18. So I mean, there's no place in Japan where that's true, is the point.
So Jordan, though, overall, what were your thoughts on this chapter?
Fujimoto is so good with this fucking paneling. Oh my god. There's like this little bit where the War Devil is talking to Mitaka, and it's really cleverly laid out because like the whole thing feels like a grid. One thing I noticed is he uses more frequent but smaller panels a lot of the time. these like rectangles basically, and they all seem to
I'm just imagining it's like
it's a circle, yeah.
no, it's like normal mangaka square, Chajimoto rectangle.
Oh my god, it's true. The point is that like all these blocks are kind of uniform, but then when the War Devil talks to Aza, her panel is slightly above and to the left, and Mitaka turns to her and says, "Shut up." But the guy she's talking to doesn't see him. And I thought that was amazing because it showed her talking to her, but it clearly visually conveyed that she is in like a different place.
Yeah, I just love it. I also, one thought your plot stream actually made me realize with half the Mitaka's brain, I wonder if this is supposed to be like a metaphor for a stroke, which often you lose reduced brain capacity, and often people have very large personality changes after strokes. So actually saying that, I can't imagine that's a coincidence.
That's definitely possible. I would fully believe that. We haven't really seen somebody argue with the devil that they are possessed by, you know? Like Denji doesn't argue with Kuchida.
I mean, so Denji is a hybrid. She is a fiend, like a asterisk fiend. The War Devil has control of her body. She is technically a dead person, but because he needs part of her brain to be alive, he relinquishes control, while Denji, it's not like it's assumed that Kuchida has control over Denji's body, much like how Rize is always in control of her body. So that's like the distinction between a fiend and a hybrid.
Okay.
Because she did die.
Yes, she did. She absolutely did. Yeah. By the way, I think it's really cool how she doesn't have a scar usually, but then when the War Devil takes over, the scar appears.
Her eyes also change.
Yeah. She's got those Makima eyes, kind of.
If it wasn't for Makima, I would assume that the spiral was like a bullseye, you know, like a target indicator.
It might be. I mean, different devils have different eyes. I mean, I remember like Power has a cross.
That's true.
By the way, when I noticed this paneling, I went back to read a little bit of Goodbye Eri, because I feel like Goodbye Eri was really Fujimoto attempting to like practice paneling and speed and stuff like that. And by speed, I don't mean like making something quickly. I mean like the speed at which you read the manga, you know, at the speed that a manga goes through. And I just wound up reading the whole thing because that manga rules. But there's one little panel I'd like to point out here, which shows something I really noticed about Fujimoto's paneling this time, which is that like he is so aware of how long it takes to read a panel and move on. Like there is one tiny sliver of a panel, like it's an establishing shot. You see like a building, and the one next to it, you just see some birds, and that's it. And that's all you need. I
mean, also don't forget how important birds are to this. Because isn't her name like translate to some sort of bird? And then obviously the War Devil looked like an owl.
Yeah.
So I think birds are going to be a very important metaphor.
I just had a big brain realization.
What?
Athena, one of the goddesses of war, her animal is an owl.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, no, and it was famously, if you've ever seen Clash of the Titans, the original, she's got this little metal goofy owl robot named Bubo, who kind of looks like what the War Devil looks like, honestly.
So actually, the War Devil is based on a real bird that lives in Brazil, by the way.
Ooh, that's pretty cool.
Urutau bird, so Urutau. So if you look, it's that I think you can agree that's definitely the bird.
Oh, is that a frog mouth?
Sure.
I don't know, I've heard that referred to before.
It's really what they look like, though. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know what the importance of why he chose that type of owl. It's unique. It's very Chajimoto instead of doing something basic like a barn owl. But, you know.
If I had to guess, he wanted to do the bird or the owl because of Athena, and then just thought that looked like the goofiest owl and he could find.
Yeah, I think so.
I respect that.
And I respect you.
Oh, well, thank you, David. And anyway, there's probably some big brain, like metaphorical thing that I'm missing, that we're all missing with that specific kind of owl too, you know?
So Jordan, though, what was your favorite page from this chapter?
Dude, like one of the first pages where Aza realizes that the War Devil is there for the first time, which is like the second page. That panel is such a great drawing. It's just a great moment. I love her expression. I love her pose. It's really good.
I can agree.
How about you?
My personal favorite is I actually really like the panel where she says, the War Devil says, "Shall I make you my boyfriend?" Just because no one does facial expressions better than Fujimoto. I also want to see that there's actually a real masterclass of that top panel where you can actually see how he very meticulously showed how you should read that panel. So look at how you're drawn to the "Shall I make it your boyfriend?" And it just naturally leads you to go up diagonally to see her facial expression and then Asa's face behind her.
Yeah, I also really love, like, we mentioned that Fujimoto is doing an exam arc, and
Well, we don't know about that.
Well, here's the thing. I think that he technically is, but he's basically, I can already see just like leaped over most of my issues with an exam arc.
Yeah.
Because the issue with the exam arcs usually is it's like the whole manga grinds to a halt while we spend like a bunch of chapters at being introduced to characters we don't care about, and they're giving us like information that we need to know, and they're giving us like all this information in context so that we can understand the events that are about to happen. Fujimoto doesn't do that though. He's got like a couple panels where he just has like the Demon Hunter Club just like say some shit, and then he's like, and we want you to bring one dead devil here, bye.
I would not be surprised if it just skips to a bunch of students being dead, killed by a devil.
100%. I saw that and I was like, okay, so a bunch of kids are going to get killed. It's going to be like a stronger devil than we think it is.
Hey, maybe if they fight the asparagus devil.
Ooh, maybe they do. Oh man, that would be a truly terrifying thing. You know, David, I hear when the asparagus devil attacks you, he makes your pee smell forever.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
He just shoots piss at people.
He's mannequin piss.
God, I love mannequin piss. And you know what else I love? Giving Pochita hugs. So Jordan, how many Pochita hugs out of 10 would you give this chapter?
So here's the thing. We're grading on the curve of Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Because like, this is fucking awesome. I don't know. I would give this like an 8 for a Chainsaw Man. This is really good, but like...
Maybe we should do it where it's like we rate dogs where everything, the lowest number you give is a 12 out of 10.
Yeah. I feel weird giving this an 8. This is great.
So okay, so if we're shifting it up...
Okay, David, no, here's what we do. Okay, out of 5 trophies for best manga ever written, how many trophies would you give Fujimoto for this chapter?
I think I would give him 4. I think this was a fun chapter. It just had a lot of exposition and there wasn't any action, which, I mean, the last chapter had a lot of action, but still, it's like, you know, that's half of why you read Chainsaw Man is for the crazy action in it.
Yeah, but the thing that I've mentioned all the time...
Jordan, we're going to fight how every single chapter of this fucking manga is going to be 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we shouldn't rate the chapters then, because we're never, ever going to give it less than a 5 out of 5.
All right, so why did you choose to give this a 10 out of 10 today, David? Let's do that.
I actually really, really like that.
So why is this chapter a 10 out of 10 today, David?
Oh, man. So this chapter just has some beautiful art, really funny dialogue with the War Devil, and I think it's setting up a really fun dynamic and an interesting mystery of who is that girl that's standing behind them that's going to be part of their team of 3?
Yeah.
And is that actually an older character? Is it a brother? Is it a coincidence? I'm really intrigued. And where the fuck is Denji?
Yeah, where the fuck is Denji? Oh my god, I'm like reading this like, oh my god, when's he gonna show up? When's he gonna show up? What if this turns into out to be like a Metal Gear Solid 2 and Denji just never shows up?
Imagine she like gets her ass beat by another devil and Denji just like, is like, oh, hey, helps her up on her feet and he keeps walking and that's the only time you see Denji for like 6 months.
Okay, so hear me out. This is insane, but it's Fujimoto we're talking about. So what if, like, the next chapter, she straight up does kill Chainsaw Man and that's the dead devil?
Oh my god. I mean, Denji does need to go to hell to save power.
We must save the first president, David.
I like how RD's comment saying Denji is definitely just an AV club watching porn.
100%, yeah.
Or Albie said Denji appears once and is portrayed by a stunt double and dies.
They never see Denji, and then somebody like taps Asa on the shoulder and is like, Denji, I'm sorry to say, he went back to his home planet and he didn't make it.
What if Asa is short for Azura? You know, the Indian god of war?
Ooh,
that would be spicy.
Forgot he was the god of war. That'd be kind of cool.
That's all I got.
I really liked how in the last panel, when she was blushing, it kind of looked like the faint trace of her scar. Yeah.
Very good.
I feel like we've kind of said as much as we need to say for this episode.
Yeah, so let's go to let's just wrap things up.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, I want to say thank you so much for editing this episode.
You're very welcome, David, and thank you for editing this episode.
You can find us on Twitter at Shonen Flopcast and our website, shonenflop.com. We're also on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever else you get your podcast. I also want to give props to Shannon for the awesome cover art. You can find her online at illuminyatea. And just a reminder, you can find our next episode on Monday if you're listening to this on Friday, or otherwise it's probably out given how time is linear for all of us except for Fujimoto.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, though, you can be listening in to our live recording, leaving comments as we talk about this on the Shonen Flop Discord, open to everyone. It was a lot of fun. And I want to say thanks again to everyone who joined us this week.
Thank you so much, everybody. And, look at the time, David. I'm sorry to say, but our minutes run up.
It has. Peace out. Or more like war out.